Hey there, welcome guys. Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We got a little fall classic baseball replay, season 1990 Reds replay, and the Reds are 50 and 32 so far. So this is game number 83, and let's see, it will be Jack Armstrong versus David Cohn in this game in Cincinnati. Cohn, both pitchers are actually C pitchers, so we'll see how that goes. There's a couple of small tweaks that I do in the game, and I will share those as I go as well. So join me, and let's play this out and see what happens. July 14th, 1990. Where were you? Let's go over the lineups real quick for the New York Mets. It's Keith Miller. He'll be playing second base. Dave Magadan at first base, batting second. Batting third is Howard Johnson. Cleanup hitter is Darryl Strawberry. Batting fifth is Kevin McReynolds. He will be in left field. Sixth is Darryl Boston, the center fielder. Seventh is Kevin Ulster, the shortstop. Eighth is Todd Hundley, the catcher. And ninth is David Cohn. For the hometown Reds, it's Billy Hatcher in left field, Larkin, the shortstop, Paul O'Neill in right field. Center fielders Eric Davis, Todd Benzinger at first base. Third baseman and batting sixth is Chris Sabo. Seventh is Mariano Duncan, the second baseman. Eighth is Jeff Reed, catcher, and batting ninth is Jack Armstrong. Jack Armstrong today is 3.68 ERA, and has an 8-3 record, so he's had a good season overall. Let's do it. Let's get down to it. All right, one thing about this game, it plays very, very quickly. Remember, you roll 2d6 just like you would in Apple. You read the red and then the white, and the d20 is going to give you the out. It's a very genius little system used to create the outs. The d20 will tell you. And once it's fairly easy to memorize. For example, a 7 would be a fly out to left field. A 17 would be a fly out to left field. So that sort of thing. An 8 would be a fly out to center, and so on. 18 would be a fly out to center. All right, so it's Keith Miller. He bats from the right side. Jack Armstrong, let's see how far he can go. Here's pitch. And that looks like a 25, which on Keith Miller's card against a lefty is a single. Otherwise, it's going to be an 11, and that tells you, you look at the 5, and the 5 is the third baseman. So it's bounced to third, picked up by Sabo. Sabo fires the first for the first down. Dave Magadan's up. He had a great season, Magadan, in 1990, batted 330, I believe, 328. Pitch from Armstrong. That's a 32, and that will be a 1-4 double, and it is a 1, so that's pulled down the line. If it stays fair, it's a double, and at least a double, and it is off the wall, played by, let's see, he's a righty, so played by the left fielder Hatcher, and into second base is Magadan with a 1-out double here in the first inning. Here's Hojo pitch, and that's a 13, which will be a 16 out. That's bounced to short. In the hole, runner will move up. Long throw to first, and nice play by Larkin. But the runner does move up, and in the box, I just put a 3 at third base, and that says that the third place hitter moved him to third, so I know where he scores from. Here's Darryl Strawberry with 2 out and 1 on. Playing fall classic baseball. This is Tony Porter. Remember, like and subscribe to my channel. Here's pitch. And it's a 42. That's usually a walk, and it is a base on balls. So Darryl Strawberry takes ball 4. And it's Kevin McReynolds. So Kevin McReynolds here with 2 on and 2 out has an opportunity to drive in some runs. He's got a little bit of power, hit 24 home runs. So 1-16, and a 65 would be a dangerous pitch, and that's going to be a 25, which will be 14 is a bouncer to second base. That's picked up by Duncan. Sidearms it to first to retire the side. So they leave a couple on, no runs, 1 hit, 2 left. And we move to the bottom of the first. And it's New York 0 with the Reds coming to bat. All right, Billy Hatcher's up. And here's a pitch. And that is a 12, which will be a 20. That's lined and caught by the third baseman. So it's ripped down the line, but positioned perfectly is Howard Johnson. So for an L5, here's Barry Larkin. So Cone gets the first out, and that's going to be 42, and that's ball 4. So he walks Larkin. Next is Paul O'Neill, left-handed hitter, right fielder, 62. Struck him out. He swings and misses at a high fastball. Coney brings the heat, and 2 out, 1 on. Here is Eric Davis, who's got good power. The pitch, and that's a 26, and against a lefty, that's a single. Cone's a righty, so that's a splits number, and that'll be pulled sharply down the line, backhanded by the third baseman Johnson. Long throw to first, and got him. No runs, no hits, a walk, 1 left. Top of the second, here we come, no score. All right, it's Boston, Elster, and Hundley. That's a 42, and that's ball 4. So leadoff walk, Elster now. And Elster's not a great bunter, so we're going to swing away with him, and that'll be a ground ball to the first baseman. Goes to second for 1, back to first. Double play, 3-6-3 double play. And it's Todd Hundley now with 2 outs and nobody on. And a 34 will be bounced up the middle, and that's through for a base hit. So a single off the pitcher card. And it's David Cone. David Cone, not a great hitter, not a bad hitter. 24, and that'll be popped up center field, shallow. Right there is Eric Davis, puts it away. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the second, no score. Here in Cincinnati, it's Todd Benzinger, the first baseman, leading off with a 25, and that will be cracked to center field. Backing up a few steps is Darryl Boston. He's under it and squeezes it for out number 1. Here's Chris Sabo next with a 25, and that'll be a 17, and that's lifted to left center field. On the run is left fielder Rick Reynolds, and McReynolds makes a nice running catch. So read it nicely right off the bat, and here is Mariano Duncan. And Duncan with 61 struck him out. Curveball got him. No runs, no hits, 3 up, 3 down, second strikeout. For Coney, we go to the top of the third. Top of the order, Keith Miller. Keith Miller, about 260. Pitch from Armstrong, 55. That's line base hit. And we're going to get a chance to steal a base. There he goes. And he is safe. Stolen base for Keith Miller. Next is Dave Magadan with a runner at second base. Pitch and a 52. That's an error check on who? On the second baseman. I believe that's going to be an error on Duncan. Duncan's error rating is, you got a chart here that tells you it's a 7, so that will be a boot. The 1 base error, E4. Going to third is Keith Miller, so we got first and third now. And Hojo, we will allow the run to come in at this point. Want to prevent a big inning, so I'm just going to play back, try to hopefully play halfway, and maybe I'll pick up a double play. That would be great. That's a 23. Struck him out with the curveball. So Armstrong with the curveball and strikes out. Howard Johnson still first and third, and here's Darryl Strawberry, left-handed hitter. Good power, 24, and that will be a 1-5 hit by pitch. Otherwise, that's lined to the second base, and that could be a double play, and it will not be. So it's L4. Second baseman Duncan positioned perfectly, and that's the second out. So after getting first and third and nobody out, we're 1 out away from getting out of this situation. And here's Kevin McReynolds, the pitch, and 23, which will be pulled down the line and scooped by third baseman Sabo over to first, and that retires the side. No runs, a hit, an error, 2 left. And we move to the bottom of the third. Jeff Reed leads off. Pitch from Cone, a 51 and a 19. That's going to be an error check on the shortstop, but that's way too high, that 19, so it's grounded to short. And over to first, 1 out. Jack Armstrong, the pitcher. The pitch from Cone 43, and that'll be an out. 13, the righty is bounced to short, charged by Elster. Low, scooped out by first baseman Magadan for out number 2. And here's Billy Hatcher, who lined out in the first inning, a 36, and that'll be a strikeout to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 3 up, 3 down. Top of the fourth, here we come. All right. Armstrong winds and deals to Darrell Boston. It'll be Boston, Elster, and Hundley. That's a 14, and that'll be grounded to short. Larkin, 1 down. Kevin Elster's next. That's from the right side. He grounded into a double play. This is an error check, but that 20 is way too high. With a 52 to third base, Sabo bobbles it for a second, but then gets gets control and throws him out. And here's Todd Hundley. He singled earlier, 53 with a 9. That's going to be a range check with a 9. On the center fielder, Davis. And Davis in center fields, his range rating is a 7, so that'll fall in there for a single. 2-out single. So Hundley is 2 for 2. And here's David Cone, Armstrong, with the pitch. And a 36 will be an out here. 36 is an out of 15, which will be a grounder. He's a lefty, so it'll be a grounder at first. And Benzinger takes it himself. No runs, 1 hit. Actually, it's a wild pitch, and then an out. All right. So we go to, all right, Larkin against David Cone. And a 12 will be a base on balls 1 to 9. We rolled an 18, so that's lifted to center. Racing in is Boston, and Boston's there. Here's O'Neill, who struck out in the first. Pitch from Cone with a 61 and gets him here again. That's strikeout number 3, number 4 for Cone. Here's Eric Davis. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to third, and a 56 struck him out. Number 5 for Coney. No runs, no hits, 3 up, 3 down. Top of the fifth, here we come. Armstrong versus Keith Miller, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a stolen base, and a 12 will be bounced to second. Mariano corrals it and throws out the speedy Keith Miller. Next is Dave Magan with the 42, and that's ball 4. He walks, trots down at first with a base on balls. Magan is on at first. Here's Hojo with decent power with 23 home runs. Low average for 1990, 244. Here's a pitch from Armstrong. And a 51, a 3. We're going to have to check the KD. That's really low. Does not apply, so that's probably going to be an error. On the pitcher, he made no errors, so that's going to be a 1-6-3. They turn it. So ball hit right back to Armstrong. He swings around and whips it to the shortstop, Larkin. Larkin over to Benzinger. That's a second double play for the Reds in this game. No errors for Armstrong in that season. So here's Todd Benzinger coming up. He leads off. Sabo and Mariano Duncan. And the pitch, 33. That is line base hit, and Benzinger will have a chance to steal a base. There he goes. Throw down, and he is out. Unless the catcher, Hundley, is a weak arm. And Hundley is a weak arm, so he is safe. So Todd Benzinger steals second. Single and a stolen base for Benzinger because he's a 9 stolen base. We rolled an 11, but it's a +2 for the weak arm. So strong arm catchers and weak arm catchers is a difference of 4 points. So let's see, Chris Sabo with a runner at second. We have no score here in the bottom of the fifth. So David Cone checks in, shakes off the sign from Hundley, now sees what he likes and puts one in there, and that's going to be a 43, and that'll be a wild pitch. Moving to third is Benzinger. Ball spiked into the ground, gets past the catcher, and that's ball 4 to Sabo. So now we got first and third. Infield is going to come in for Mariano Duncan. Pitch from Cone. Here it is. And a 45 with the infield and struck him out. Big strike. Oh, no, that's a regular out. Duncan, a 4, and runner will advance to second. So it's second and third. Runner on third holds. And it's Jeff Reed now, second and third, and field continues to be in. And I had to have a modifier for this in case we need it. We'll see what happens. Here's a pitch, and that's a 31, which will be a base hit, little ground ball that gets through the infield, through the right side, and runner on second. There will be a play at the plate. Right fielder, who is that? Right fielder is Strawberry. Strawberry with a 1-3 gets him at home. And here's the throw with a single. I don't have a cutoff. And he is out at home. So one run comes home, and thrown out is Sabo. 9-2. Darryl Strawberry showing off the cannon. And the runner will Reed picks up an RBI single and goes to second on the throw home. Here's Jack Armstrong, scores 1-0. 2 out, bottom of the fifth. Jack Armstrong against David Cone. David Cone. And a 31. That'll be a bouncer again, and that's going to go through. Will a run score here? And looks like, there's going to be a risk. A or S arm, center field. Center fielder, if Darryl Boston is an A arm, so I could risk. That means 1-3, he is out. You know what? I'm going to play it safe. It's going to be first and third. We're already up 1-0. It's first and third, and with Billy Hatcher coming up. 2 outs, 2 on, 1-0. Reds. They've lost 3 in a row to the Mets, I believe. Gotta double check that. At least they've lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets here in the middle of July, right after the All-Star break. So here's Billy Hatcher. He swings from the right side. He's 0-for-2. He's lined out in the first and struck out in the third. So there's a little bit of excitement here, where a double here could potentially break this open and give the Reds a 3-0 lead going into the 6th inning, but we'll see. Here's a pitch from Cohen. And that's going to be a 22, which will be line, base hit, 1 run scores. And runner on third, Holzer can run with risk. We will hold him with 2 out. RBI single for Hatcher. And it looks like we're going to go to the bullpen. I believe he's a third. Let's see how many. He can face 31 batters. He's pitched outstandingly until this inning. Gave up 4 hits so far, 5. So hold on. All right, we thought it over. We're going to stick with Cone against Barry Larkin. Cone sets and deals. And here's the pitch. And a 63 will be a strikeout. Big K. And that's 2 runs come in on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, 4 singles. So it's 2-0 Reds. We go to the top of the 6th inning. It's Darryl Strawberry leading off against Jack Armstrong, who again is masterful. I mean, the guy does not have a good card at all, but keeps on, doing amazing things. So a lot of times the dice can be for you, and the dice can be against you. The very minor tweak that I've done for both pitchers, really, and that's just eliminating their last single in their column, in their 31 to 36 column. So, and let's see here, Darryl Strawberry's up. Pitch from Armstrong with a 46 and a 6, and that's going to be a ballpark result, and that's going to be pulled foul into the right field seats. And here goes again, Darryl Strawberry. The pitch, a 55, and that's a drive. 1 hop off the wall in right center field, digging for second is Strawberry, and he's in there with a leadoff double. Yikes, Darryl Strawberry gets a hold of one. And Armstrong wishes he had that pitch back. Lucky he didn't go for a home run. It was close. Here's Kevin McReynolds now with nobody out, 1 on. Pitch to McReynolds, and that's a 43, and that's ball 4. So the tying runs are on base, nobody out. Darryl Boston. Boston today is 0-for-1 with a walk and a ground out. Here's a pitch, and that's a 46 with a 1. And he does get credit for a potential ballpark home run, because he did hit 12 home runs and 360 at-bats. And that ball is a drive to right center field way back, and that ball is gone. 3-run shot. And the Mets have taken a 3-2 lead against Armstrong, who up to this point was almost perfect. Pitched very, very well up to this point. Got a couple of walks, 4 hits. And here's Kevin Elster. Nobody on, nobody out. And a 66, and that is a drive down the line, fair ball into the corner. Elster digging for second. Here's the throw from the left fielder Hatcher, and he is safe. So 4 consecutive batters have reached base here against Jack Armstrong, and there's some movement in the bullpen for the Reds. Here's Todd Hundley. Todd Hundley, switch hitter, batting from the left side. He's 2 for 2, and the pitch, and a 34 will be bounced up the middle, and that's a base hit. Let's see if another run will score here. And a run, F or A score, and the second baseman Elster should be at least an A, and he is, and he'll come around to score. That's 4 runs, and that's going to be it for Armstrong. All right, we got Tim Liana. He's warming up, and here's David Cone. We're going to get David Cone to square, and it's going to be, not a good bunt. A 2 and a 12 is going to be a double play, and it won't be. It's going to be a pop-up catcher. And now it's the top of the order. This is when we're going to bring in Liana because Armstrong is beat. So here comes Tim. He's in there, and what kind of stuff will he have? He will have his C stuff. See if he can get out of this inning. Only 1 out. Here's a pitch to Keith Miller, and that's a 64, which will be a ground ball because he's a ground ball pitcher to third. Sabo up with it, fires high to Benzinger, but they get the speedy Miller by half a step. Here's Magadan, 2 outs now. 1 on. Oh, wait, there was 1 on. Hold on a second. There was a runner on first on a 5. That could be double play. Keith Miller is a righty. So that's going to be a 5-4-3 double play. So Sabo, the third double play turned by the Reds, goes to second for 1, back to first in time. Big pitch by Tim Liana. So 1, 2, 3, 4 runs come in on 4 hits. And the Reds now lead it by a score of 4-2. All right, Paul O'Neill leading off against David Cone. The pitch, and that's a 45. That'll be a strikeout. Curveball gets O'Neill out in front. Eric Davis with the snake eyes, and that'll be a ball 4 now. We're down by 2 runs, and we're going to try to steal. There he goes. A throw down from Hundley, not in time. Steals 1. And he's going to try to steal another one. And there he goes with a 14, and he steals second base as well, Eric Davis. Third base, excuse me. The throw down, the tag by the third baseman. Johnson, not in time. So it's a walk and a stolen base with walk 2 pluses. Eric Davis did steal 21 bases in 24 attempts. He in 450 at-bats. All right. So here's Todd Benzinger with a runner on third. So Benzinger's a tying run at the plate. Pitch from Coney. And that's a 61. That'll be a strikeout. Second strikeout in this inning, and that is strikeout 6, 7, 8 strikeouts for David Cone. Next up is Chris Sabo with 0 for 1 with a walk in the 6th pitch, and that's a 52, which will be an error check, but that 16 is too high. It's bounced to third, picked up by Johnson. Johnson does have a high error at 11, but that 15 is above that 11, so that'll be grounded. That'll be an out to third. No runs, no hits, a walk, a couple stolen bases. They leave a man. We go to the top of the 7th inning, 4-2 Mets. Top of the 7th, 4-2 Mets. Dave Magadan leads off. Magadan today doubled, reached on an error, and walked. Pitch from Liana with a 32, and that will be a ground ball to short. Oh, he's a lefty. It's still to short because it's a 16. And it's up the middle, and Larkin gets to it, throws on the run, and gets Magadan. Here's Howard Johnson. Johnson's 0 for 3, ground out K and N. double play. Here's the pitch. It's a 12, and that'll be cracked to left. Backing up a couple of steps is left fielder Hatcher. He's under it and squeezes it for out number 2. And here's Darryl Strawberry. Pitch to Darryl. 65. That's potentially a drive. That's going to be way back right field. That ball is gone. Upper deck shot for Darryl Strawberry, and that's his second hit of the day. And that score now is 5-2. Darryl Strawberry with a home run. He did hit a ton of home runs at 37 home runs. Good season for Darryl Strawberry. Soon after this, he signs with the LA Dodgers, and that was the beginning of the end for, I think, the Darryl Strawberry superstar level play. Because that 1990 season, I believe the following season, he ends up, the rumors start that he wants to go to LA, hit 37 home runs, 277 average, 108 RBIs, 70 walks in 152 games. Played a good right field, good range, good arm, very few errors. So he was at the top of his, he was at his prime, if you will. But I think it began to decline once he hit LA. I think he was injured there. And then, of course, I think just the LA lifestyle just got to him. Had too much free time on his hands. Kevin McReynolds now with 2 out, nobody on, scores 5-2. Darryl Strawberry just connected. And Tim Liana looks in with Jeff Reed for the sign and winds and deals, and that'll be a 65, another potential home run off McReynolds with good power. And no, that ball is going to be deep drive to left field, and backing up is Hatcher to the track and hauls it in. So 1 run on 1 hit. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 5-2 Mets. Mariano Duncan leading off against Dave Cone. Pitch to Duncan, that's a 55, and that's going to be pulled down the line. Fair ball into the corner. Digging for second is Duncan, and a leadoff double. Jeff Reed is next. Pitch from Cone with a 35, and that's his last number, so that'll be bounced right back to the pitcher. Cone with an average arm will hold the runner at second base, and we're going to get a pinch hitter here for the Reds. All right, Hal Morris is going to come to pinch hit, and Morris has some kind of bat in 1990. I think he batted about 342, I think it says. He will pinch hit here against Cone in the bottom of the 7th. The Reds trail by 3 runs, and there's the pitch from Cone with a 16, and that'll be a ground ball to short. Runner will move up. That's 2 outs, 1 on. Here is Billy Hatcher. He's 1 for 3. RBI single in the 5th, and a 34 will be a ground ball, and that's through the left side. RBI single again for Hatcher. 5-3 now. And here's Barry Larkin with good power, but that's a 13. It's going to be a ground ball to second. He'll go to the shortstop for the 4th to end the inning. So 1 run on 2 hits. And we go to the top of the 8th inning. The score is 5-3 Mets. All right, it's going to be Randy Myers against the pinch hitter Tim Tuffle. Tim Tuffle would stay in to play second base, and second baseman Keith Miller will go out to center field. Here's a pitch, and that's a 26 against a lefty. It's a ground ball, and that's through for a base hit. So a single for the splits. Tim Tuffle, who does very well against lefties, so you can see that there. So Boston is out, and next up is Kevin Elster, who not a good hit and run guy, not a good bunter either, so he's going to just swing away. Pitch from our ace, and it's a strikeout. Randy Myers swings, gets Elster to swing and miss. 1 out, 1 on, and here's Todd Hundley. Todd Hundley's 3 for 3 with 3 singles. See what Randy Myers can do with him. Here's the pitch, and that's a 24, which will be a fly ball center field. On the run is Davis, and Davis comes up with it. So Cone is still in there. We're going to let him bat. Trying to get a complete game out of him. He had 6 complete games. Here's the pitch, and that is a 35. Struck him out, and that retires the side. So Randy Myers, no runs, 1 hit, a couple of strikeouts. Go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 5-3 Mets. O'Neill leads off against David Cone. Here's the pitch. And that's a 55. That's going to be a drive in the gap. That's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. Leadoff double for O'Neill. Slides in after the throw. And here's Eric Davis. So Cone is at 28, 29, 30 now. He can go, I think I saw 31. Yeah. Eric Davis is next. Pitch to Davis. A 65. That's a drive way back. And that ball is gone. Game is tied. Eric Davis, and I told you that before, he's got good power. And Cone gives up the long ball, 1-18 on David Cone. So he's definitely susceptible to the long ball, and that's going to be it for David Cone. Yikes. Game is tied at 5 apiece. All right, it's Wally Whitehurst for the Mets coming in here in the bottom of the 8th, nobody out. Game is tied at 5 apiece. Cone started the inning, and he allowed O'Neill, gave up a double to O'Neill, and then a monster blast from Eric Davis, and that ties it up at 5 apiece. Here's Todd Benzinger, switch hitter, batting from the left side, and the 61 will be a strikeout. So he swings and misses at a high fastball, and he heads back to the bench with the bat on his shoulder. Here's Chris Sabo, who's 0 for 2 today in a walk, and the snake eyes will be another base on balls. He walks. Second walk of the game for Sabo. He's on at first. He's fast. Here's Duncan. And Duncan will square, and that is a 6, which will, on the second column, that 2 and 12 will be a double play, and nope. So it's a pop-up to the catcher. And 2 out, and here's Jeff Reed, pitch from Whitehurst with a 45, and that'll be a ground ball to short. Fielder's choice 6-4, and that retires the side. So 2 runs come in on 2 hits, all tied at 5. Randy Myers will pitch the top of the 9th. He's due up in the bottom of the 9th, so we may see, probably going to see him pinch hit for. Keith Miller leads off. He is 1 for 4 today against Randy Myers. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 15, which will be a ground ball to second. Easy play for Duncan. Throws out the speedy Miller. 1 down. Dave Magadan is next. He's 1 for 3. 26 against a righty. Gets a hit, but against a lefty, he's popped up. Middle infield, shortstop. Larkin and second baseman Duncan converge, and it's Larkin. Takes control, 2 out. And here's Hojo with a 52. That'll be an error check against the third baseman. But no. He'll make the play. No runs, too high with that 13. No runs, no hits, 3 up, 3 down. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. We got a pinch hitter. Bottom of the 9th, let's see. All right, bottom of the 9th is Herm Winningham. Had 160 at bats, batted 260 for the Reds in 1990. He'll be leading off and pinch hitting for the ace closer Randy Myers. Got a new pitcher in the top of the 10th. It's a 14, and that'll be a fly ball to center. And right there is Keith Miller for out number 1. Billy Hatcher's up next. He's 2 for 4 today. He's from Whitehurst, and that's a 55. That's going to be a drive, and that's in the gap and around first, then into second base. The slide, the tag, and he is safe with a leadoff double. Billy Hatcher here in the bottom of the 9th. Barry Larkin's going to be intentionally walked to face Paul O'Neill. John Franco, I don't believe is available. Oh, he is available. So we will bring in John Franco. All right, we are in the bottom of the 9th. It is Glenn Bragg who's going to pinch hit for Paul O'Neill because the Mets brought in the lefty John Franco. And John Franco will be an A. And we are ready to roll. There's one out, first and second, bottom of the ninth, all tied at 5. It was a 2-run home run by Eric Davis, tying the game at 5 in the bottom of the 8th inning. And now the Reds here at home in the bottom of the ninth have an opportunity to walk it off. Let's see what happens. The pitch from Franco. And that's a 46 with a 20. Oh boy, that's going to take us to the wildest result. And we're going to have to look at the book for that. That's the first time I've looked at the book in a couple of games. Let's see what it says. A 46 with a 20 reads, it says wildest section. So we're going to go to the wildest section. And with the runners on first and second. Okay, we're going to roll 1d20, and it's a 13. Runners on first and second. 13 is going to say fly out deep left. Runner tries for third base. Roll a d6, 1 to 4 safe, 5 to 6 out. All right. So it's 1 to 4 safe, and this is a throw from deep left field. Who's out there? That is Kevin McReynolds, and he is a 3. He is safe at third base, so he tags up. It's a fly out. A fly out to left. He tags up, and what I'm going to put in the upper left-hand corner is a 3 to say that the 3 batter got him over to third. There's 2 outs now. All right, so a little anticlimactic there. Excuse me. And it's the hero of the game because of the 2-run home run in the 8th, Eric Davis. And he's up against John Franco. First and third, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, all tied at 5 apiece. Davis today's grounded out, struck out, walked, stole 2 bases, and then hit a 2-run blast to tie the game at 5. All right, so here goes. Franco checks in with Hundley. Hundley is the catcher, checks in with Hundley for the sign, and sets and deals. And that's a 44, and that's the ball game. That's lined. And for a base hit single, it says double, but you only need a single. And the run scores, and the ball game is over. Eric Davis, the hero, gets mobbed at first base, and so does Hatcher, scoring the winning run. 1 run on 2 hits in the bottom of the 9th off of John Franco. Gives up the winning hit to Eric Davis. And that's the ball game, guys. So you couldn't ask for a better, more exciting ball game. Final score is 6-5. This was the final game of a 4-game set with the New York Mets from July 10th to July 14th, I believe. There was a doubleheader in there somewhere, so it may have been July 11th to July 14th. Final score is the Reds come from behind 6-5. Let's look at the hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits for the Mets. Let's see if they committed any errors. No errors. And hits for the Reds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 hits for the Reds. And let's see the errors they committed. I believe we committed at least 1 error from memory. Yeah, second baseman Duncan committed an error. So there was 1 error there for the Reds. So it's 6 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Reds. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Mets. This is Fall Classic Baseball. Remember, like and subscribe my channel. Join Universal Baseball Association Facebook group. And reach out to me if you have any questions. Just a fun game. Now Cincinnati goes to 51-32. And the Mets drop 1 to 45-37. I'm not sure who is next in line for the Reds, but this was game, I believe, 83. So we'll go to game 84, and we'll keep on rolling. Take care, guys.